Shot and goal!
That was arena soccer perfection.
With an absolute golazo! Goal! Goal! As good a goal as you can see. That was a heat-seeking missile.
Oh my goodness, Frank Tayu scores. Oh, heartbreaker.
Good evening, Ambush fans, and welcome into the Fama Arena for this big matchup between the Kansas City Comets and the St. Louis Ambush. Down the field, I'm Patrick Kyle alongside Matt Bird, and Matt, Ambush had two great games last weekend against Florida and Orlando. Able to get a good win against Florida, just didn't come out on top against Orlando on Saturday.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think we scored too many goals on the Saturday. We should have saved some for the Orlando game following. It was a tough loss, 8-7. But an 8-3 win against a very good Florida team set us up nicely for the weekend. It was just a shame we just couldn't get over the line in that Orlando game. But still, everything to play for this season. Another good game against this lot from down I-70. We're going to make it 4-1 on the season against Kansas City so far.
And Kansas City really turned their season around since the last time we saw them. And a big part of that has been Leo Gibson.
Leo Gibson, 34 points, 16 goals. I mean, he's just a mercurial player in the indoor game. But it's not just him. I mean, Rodriguez has chipped in with 10 goals. They're a dangerous team. They're scoring goals. They've started off 1-4. I think they've won 6 and only lost 1 since then. So it's going to be a very different Kansas City Comets team that we last seen here, a couple of months ago.
And the Ambush have seen them a couple times, 3-1 in that matchup, and they're looking to improve and climb in the standings.
Well, we've got to. I mean, we thought that it was going to be ourselves and Florida Tropics going for the second place, chasing the wave, but it's not. I mean, we're going to have to fight this Kansas City Comets team all the way to try and get in the playoff picture.
And the Ambush have been doing very well on all sides of the ball, but particularly defense has been a stronghold for the Ambush this season.
We've improved massively on defense. I think Paolo's coming into his own with this game. I mean, if you look at the goal differential, it looks a lot worse than it was, but you have to remember the incremental improvement from last year. Paolo has become, for me, an instrumental part of his team. He's just grown with the game. He's coming from futsal, obviously, and he's had to learn about the boards and everything and getting his angles right, but he's vastly improved. And not just that, Axel Duarte, Douglas De Santos, they're leading the leagues. They're 2 of the top 5 in blocks. And McGee too. I mean, McGee came into this team at the beginning of the season, a relative unknown, but he's chipped in. He's already at 10 points, which for a defenseman is really a really nice return.
And of course, the injury bug affecting both teams on each side. Big losses for both Kansas City and St. Louis.
Absolutely. I mean, the first one that stood out to me was Brett Petracek. I mean, we've seen him 3 times already this season, and he is an excellent goalkeeper. But Saxby's come in, and I think he's won 3 of the last 4 that he's played. But also on our side of the field, we're looking at Clayton Padalera being out. He is a very creative player. He likes to take a shot, and 9 times out of 10, that shot will be on target. And shooting, I think, this year for us has been a little bit wayward. We're too quick to snap at the ball, and a lot of our shots have been going over the bar, wide of the bar, and he always seems to put them on frame. So I think it's going to be a loss in the creative side of the field for us this game today.
It's going to be a great I-70 matchup between Kansas City and St. Louis, and it's next. It's Alumni Night here at the Family Arena. We're going to be joining you on the broadcast shortly, but now we'll send it up to Brian with the pregame festivities.
And welcome into the Family Arena, ladies and gentlemen, for this soccer matchup. It's the 5th of 7 matchups between these two clubs. It's the Kansas City Comets and the hometown St. Louis Ambush. Up in the booth, I'm Patrick Kyle alongside Matt Burden. A big game we have ahead of us tonight, Matt. Both teams fighting for that second spot in the South Central Division.
Well, absolutely. I also, no matter if there's anything on the line, I think any game between Kansas City and St. Louis has got that added needle to it. But you're absolutely right. I mean, at 1-4, we thought that the Kansas City Comets, weren't going to be in the picture at this time of the season, but they've won 6, lost 1 since then. And I think that this is going to be a different Kansas City Comets to the one we last played when we took a 3-1 lead in the series so far. But St. Louis, we're hovering around that 500 mark. It'd be nice to get on, 8-8. We've been playing a catch-up to KC and Florida and Orlando a lot this season. It'd be nice to really put a stamp on this series, I think, tonight.
One big roadblock the Ambush have faced while playing the Kansas City Comets has been Brett Petracek. He's out with a leg injury. Coming in is Mark Saxby, and the Ambush are going to have to test him early. He's so far 3-0 in his 3 starts.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they've not missed a beat since Petracek's been out. But you're right, he was lights out for the games that he played against us, especially that first game. He was a brick wall for the first half. But Saxby's come in, they've won 3 out of the last 4, KC, and they're rolling. And we're really going to have to take it to Kansas City, test Saxby early. We have had a tendency to put the majority of our shots high and wide in the first half. We've got to keep them on target, and I think losing Clayton today is going to be a little worrying, because if there's one guy that can get a shot on target, it was Clayton. So St. Louis, we've got to take the game to KC. We have to test them. We have to put Saxby under pressure. I think we have to press high. And when we played Orlando on Saturday night, we allowed Orlando to dictate the pace of the game, and it cost us. We have to play our game. We have to play at our pace. We have to dictate the tempo. And it's easier said than done against a very good Kansas City team. Let's not kid ourselves.
The Ambush mixing up some stuff in the lineup tonight. Everton making an appearance in the lineup. Jerger Gibson had surgery this past week. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Everton coming in first game in 4 games. He's going to be a big addition on the field for this Ambush squad.
Well, he's a calming presence. He's been there. He's done it. He can't coach. If you're playing, you can't coach. So I guess coaching duties passes over to Jamie Swanner tonight. But Everton, he's just a calming presence. I mean, he's so experienced in this league. But also, he can't be a leader. The team has to step up and find their own leaders. And I think, we're looking at one guy there, Zach Reggae, on the ball right now. He has stepped up. He has taken the bull by the horns in his opportunities this season.
Kansas City's moving forward with it. It's Matingu, has a lot of space to work. Reggett racing back, and a big save by Paulo. That ball's going to bounce out of play. It's off the ambush, so Kansas City will get the ball at about the yellow line.
Nice early touch there for Paulo. That'll do his confidence and will be good.
There's Matingu and Perez are ready to take it. And they're going to defer to Perez as Almeida will make a one-man wall. And Perez passes off the boards in front. Good play by Stinson, works it to the corner, and then Almeida clears it all the way down. The Kansas City gain possession as they're going to make some changes here. And just send it back to Saxby. Saxby, great pass coming around for the bench, and Stinson comes in the middle of that, able to break that up. Possession the way of the ambush now, Reggett. Losing it, moving forward now is Perez down the boards and then tries to pass against the boards. That's knocked forward by Paulo. Now Reggett lifts it up in the air, and that's going to bounce out of play. Kansas City will get the quick restart. Williams is going to take it.
Two in the MASL top stars this week. Top of the charts was Reggett, and second place was Leo Gibson. So you've got the chance here tonight to see two of the hottest indoor players in the country. And I think Reggett, to be fair, he had a very quiet game against Orlando. It was probably his quietest of the season. So and I'd liked the ambush to have won that game without having to rely on Reggett, but it wasn't really to be.
So the ambush sent it down in the corner. JT hounded by two Comets, trying to get away. They push it forward, then sent right back in by Pepe, and Saxy's able to hold on. Sends it to his defenseman, caught in the box, two ambush closing in, and then Pepe, nice job, cuts forward, but hits it into the penalty box, hits at one of the off-field officials, and once again, Kansas City ball. Matingu calling up Saxby, right back to Matingu. Here comes Kochikov trying to steal it back from him. Good play to get right back to Saxby. And JT between the two Kansas City Comets players as they play pass back and forth in their own end.
It's a thankless task, you know, what JT's doing now. He's just got to run back and forward between the goalkeeper and the forwards, and he really doesn't get much luck. But every now and again there'll be a little unforced error, and that's what the ambush have to do tonight. They have to try and pressurize the back line to make mistakes. Handball against the Comets, number 19, John Sosa.
The ambush gained the ball back after a handball as Pepe in front of his own bench to Everton. First time out on the field tonight. Douglas trying to get away, able to push it back to Everton. He has a lot of space to work with. He's just going to slow it down as the ambush makes some changes. Out comes Mario Marcos. Long pass trying to find JT. He's just going to go right to Matingu. He's still under some pressure in the corner, knocks it forward, goes right to Mario Marcos, who takes a long shot, blocked in front. Pepe gets the rebound. Throwing off the ball, and Kansas City still deep in their own end, clearing it all the way forward as James is chasing after it, but Paulo's going to head it forward first. Then Paulo knocked down, but James couldn't get there before McGee, and it's moved forward to Pepe, try to get off the boards to himself. Kansas City takes it right back at midfield. They'll sit back, make some changes. It's Rodriguez going back and forth with Togba. Bouncing ball, able to find Leo Gibson. Gibson crossfield to Togba. Togba going up against Stefan St. Louis. Cuts in and a shot. Good save against the boards by Paulo. He's going to carry it himself. See Stinson, and Stinson's going to cut down the far side boards. He's taken down, no call though, as the ball just floats down to Saxby. And in their defensive end, working it up. Nice step up by Marcos. St. Louis, a good second effort, able to get that ball in favor of St. Louis.
Excellent step there by Mario Marcos. Read the play really well just to nip in there and win possession back. Stinson took a heck of a tumble there against the boards, but there's no foul on the play. It's really good work by the KC defense to block Stinson away from the ball.
And now McGee at midfield, able to get around Leo Gibson. Into Zach Reggett. Reggett, the spin around shot off the boards. It bounces and it finds its way in. Zach Reggett will get credited for the goal in the ambush. Lead 1-0.
Hey, you'll take them any way you can get. As I say, Zach Reggett needed a goal after last week, and he will take that. You know, it was his shot off the boards that kind of bounced off a knee, off a shin, off an ankle, and just looped over Saxby and into the goal. Here's the replay right now. Reggett's shot there off the boards and a foot off Gibson, and he.
I believe he hit Rodriguez as well.
Well, you know, Gibson and Rodriguez have combined for what? 43 goals this year, make it 44.
Just not the one you want exactly.
I'll take it.
As Reggett gets his team-leading 16th goal of the season, he gives an Ambush a big 1-0 lead as now a foul called on Kansas City, and now Dos Santos in a bit of discomfort. He's going to go down to the field.
Well, Dos Santos is just coming back from injury anyway, so he's probably feeling a little sore. The last thing he needed was a knock on his ankle. And he's I don't know if he's walking off or he's just going to walk it off.
As Pepe will take it at the yellow line. Here's Dos Santos and Rob Acosta to use. Pepe, the easy pass right over to Acosta. Oh, Dos Santos weaves through and able to find Kochekov's spin around shot, and Saxby is able to easily hold on to that one. And Vadim Kochekov, one of those players that last week had a very good game for the Ambush, 2 very good games. He found his way into the roster once again.
You've got to take your opportunity when you can get it. I mean, he's been on this roster for the best part of 2 years, 2.5 years, and he's not played for a while. But then with, obviously Georgia going off, and then the injuries to Axel Duarte, Dos Santos, Kochekov was called in, and he's kept his place in this team, and he's been well deserved too. I mean, a goal and an assist against Florida, and he's, I can't remember his exact production against Orlando, but he was up there again.
It's a nice feed from Everton, finds Lucas Almeida. Almeida weaving in and out, cuts it to the middle, Felipe shoots, he scores! Felipe off a beautiful pass off the boards, and the Ambush now lead 2-0.
Felipe Souza, he's in the team of the week this week. Might be again next week after that.
Felipe gets his 2nd goal of the season off a beautiful feed from Lucas Almeida, and the Ambush get a big 2-goal lead early in this match.
Let's not tempt fate, we were 6-0 up last year.
Beautiful replay. Felipe just perfectly placed that ball in the corner, not a chance.
Oh, he knew what he was
there.
doing. He just found his corner and just slid it home. Yeah, it was just a nice, easy, well-weighted shot into the corner. And the Ambush find themselves 2-0 up. And the Comets seem rattled. They started well, but in the last 5 minutes, they've kind of lost their way a little bit. And the Ambush have to keep the momentum going because we know that the Comets can come back.
A long heave from Paulo, able to find JT. JT spins, trying to find an open lane to shoot, gets knocked off the ball. Good play by the Comets, trying to keep it forward, and they're able to move it forward. It's Nacho losing it. Now Justin Stinson steps up. Stinson with some space, drops it to JT in the corner, goes off the boards, and Kansas City is able to take over. Nacho, clean pass to Leo Gibson.
Justin made the wrong decision there. He should have just swung his leg at it and had a crack. He tried to pass it off to JT, who's in a better spot.
An aggressive move by Paulo, caught out of his net. Now Gibson has it, but goes right back to Paulo, and he's just going to clear it off the near side boards. A lot of open space, and he's able to retreat back into his box.
Easy, Paulo. We know he likes coming out, but easy there, big guy.
Now Matingu, foot in foot with Stinson, tried to come in and took a shot that got blocked and then hit the glass to the side. Goes all the way back to the Kansas City defense as we have a St. Louis Ambush player down on the field right now. And
Douglas Dos Santos again.
He just went down early, and now he's...
Well, he had a massive block there on that shot. But he's not moving much.
This would be a big loss for the Ambush. Already a live injury so far, and Dos Santos, as you've said a couple times this game, already coming off an injury.
And he was up there in the blocks leading. In the box, and he kind of slipped off the top 5 because he hadn't been around.
You guys right here.
But that was just a massive block again on that shot, and he just stayed down. That was, and the fact that he was down before in the offensive side of the field leads to this isn't good.
You get our Powerade and
the team huddles around him as there's an official timeout with 8:05 left.
Love it.
And with a break, we like to remind everybody that the MASL now has a podcast. Join host Craig Elston as he talks to players, officials, and coaches from across the league and takes you behind the scenes of the MASL. Check out MASLsoccer.com to listen to past episodes and subscribe to the official MASL podcast.
I think if you'd have asked Everton after 7 minutes, would you like to be 2-0 up, he'd have snapped your arm off. I mean, this St. Louis Ambush got off to an absolute flyer here. 2 really good goals as well. I mean, Reggett got lucky, but it was his pressure and it was his opportunism that caused the goal, and then the final goal by Felipe Souza. I mean, it was just a peach. I mean, he picked his spot excellently well. But the Ambush, they have to keep this pressure up. They can't rest on their laurels. They have to keep the momentum going. Because we know that this Comets team can turn it on in a flash. And sometimes, teams play better when they're backed into a corner, when they start having a fight. And I think the Ambush are good at that. When they're down 3 or 4 goals, they'll start fighting, they'll start playing, and they'll come back. The problem is if the Ambush take their foot off the gas, they think the game's already won. Well, it's still the first quarter,
This Kansas City defense is going to start it. Ill-advised pass stolen by Marcos briefly, but then I believe a foul called on the Ambush, so Kansas City is going to get the ball in front of their own bench.
I didn't see what Vadim did there, but
his first of the half.
Sosa being pressured by St. Louis. St. Louis able to poke it away, then Saxby off the boards. Adamson to St. Louis, wide open net off the boards. Adamson, and he misses it as well. Oh, unbelievable. The Ambush have 2 open nets and they miss them both.
But that's what I was just talking about with regards to the pressure. Force those errors.
There's now Togba pressuring on the inside boards. Goes up against St. Louis. Instead, sends it back to his defense. Leo Gibson on the far side. Pressure by Costa. Cuts the inside. Looks for the pass. And Perez was held up by Adamson, so he couldn't get a shot off. Then St. Louis coughs it up to Togba. Togba cutting to the middle. Shot blocked by Adamson. That caught him up high. Seems to be a little shaken up, but he's good. The referee blew the whistle, but
he's fine. A little pocket battleship is Corey Adamson. And the Ambush were away there, unless the referee had stopped it.
So the Ambush are going to make some changes. Adamson will go out shortly. As out comes Pepe Everton and Zach Reggett.
The whistle was for a head injury to Ambush player number 4, Corey Adamson.
So the ref did see it, saw Adamson kind of a little shaken up.
Yeah, you can't mess around with head injuries these days. It's just better to err on the side of caution.
Ball kicked out by Kansas City. Everton to start with it. He's going to send it back to his keeper. Now he creates some space for himself. Zach Reggett all the way down for the Ambush. Pass gets deflected but finds its way to Reggett, then headed forward by Kansas City. Gibson almost touches it. Nice play by Mario Marcos to briefly keep that in the possession of the Ambush, but now all over it is Lucas Rodriguez. He gets knocked off the ball by Reggett now. Pushing it forward is Robert Palmer. Now Ramon Palmer, he gets tied up by Marcos, and that's going to be a foul on the Ambush.
Mario Marcos, his first. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One up this time.
So Matingo over to Gibson. Gibson crossfield once again finds Palmer, and that goes off the glass. Try to header. Now Reggett all the way back in the corner defending. Kansas City able to get off the boards to Matingu. As they move back, Gibson looking for the pass. Tight on him is McGee. And McGee has created a bit of a box and knocked down Gibson, but they're going to call that a foul.
Yeah, McGee knew what he was doing there. He just kind of turned into the body.
Oh, Robert going back and forth and right back to Robert. Williams being pressured by Pepe as he steps forward. Now Williams close to Reggett. Peels off. Oh, Ramon again. Gibson at the yellow line trying to find a spot, able to get it over to Robert, and Ambush just holding a good defensive pressure right now. Williams trying to get around Reggett, goes back, as now it's Ramon. Ramon losing it to Marcos almost, and then Marcos hit in the face, and as Marcos grabbed that ball, they're going to call the foul on St. Louis. Kansas City tries to quickly start it up, not going to fool the ambush show as Pepe takes it right away.
Really well done there by Pepe, heads up.
Settles it back to his keeper, now up for McGee. McGee able to find Felipe. He had the second goal, gives it back to McGee. McGee, Stinson tried to get to him, but it was deflected by Nacho. JT still pressuring as Kansas City still in danger on their own end. Nacho floats back. And they're going to send it back to their keeper, Saxby, and he'll hold on. Only 4 minutes left in this quarter as he heaves it forward. Up against the boards, James. Able to get solid possession, but then has to move it back to Nacho as McGee was all over him. Now that was a give and go, trying to find James on the header. And Paulo way out of his net, wide open net, and they miss it just wide. Paulo races back and able to hold on to it.
Well, Paulo got out of jail there, didn't he?
He's been towing the line all game with that.
Restart for the Comets.
It's going to be a restart as I believe Paulo.
Hey, Ambush fans,
past
this coming Tuesday.
I think it was maybe a 2 or 3 line pass. Different rules for the goalkeeper with regards to passes.
Kansas City, the pass off to Togba. He took a shot blocked by a diving Almeida. Now Togba again. Having to float back Almeida right on him. Nice crossfield pass and then finding Sosa. Spreading out the field a little bit more are the Comets. Now Togba going up against one-on-one against Almeida. Knocks off the boards, but no one could grab it for Kansas City. Goes off the boards right to Nacho. Now Sosa floating back. Pressure by JT, gets it over to Togba. Togba and Almeida once again. Able to get it by him once again. Now Togba in front, but Nacho couldn't get a piece of it, as I believe that's who he was looking for.
Kansas City knocking on the door here. You know, they've had a really good last 2 or 3 minutes. Solid possession. Good looks at goal. Paulo having to come bigger again there to keep them at bay.
Just barely getting a piece of it as Kochikov taken down hard. He's in some pain as JT still playing, try to move it up to Almeida, and that's a shame. The ambush almost had a 2-on-1 there, but Perez able to get it in, a shot in right on. Easy save for Paulo. As the ambush made quick changes, the only one staying out is Felipe, and the ball is thrown to him. A lot of space for Felipe to work. Tried to send it to the middle to Everton, but Saxby's going to get there first. As the ambush starts it back up, Gibson and McGee going at it. Gibson settles it. Joining in is Adamson, and then Gibson rather able to get it to Rodriguez, and then loses it right back to McGee. All the way back down into the Kansas City end. As Kansas City waits, still back in their own end. Everton pressuring Rodriguez, drops back. Waiting a bit more and then gets it over to Rodriguez.
2 minutes, 20 seconds to go here. I think it's pivotal that the ambush get to the end of the first quarter without conceding. The Comets have played really well the last 5 minutes. They really stamped their authority on the game after going down 2 early doors. But here comes Corey Adams.
Pass to Corey Adams. Alone. He gets around Saxby and he scores! An unbelievable feed, and Adamson, the breakaway goal. Ambush able to make it 3-0.
What a counter-attack that was. And well done, Corey Adamson. It was tempting just to smash it, but he was cool, calm, collected, just let the ball drift around Saxby, and he had the easy tap in.
Beautiful touches by the ambush, just tic-tac-toe, and no one sees Corey Adamson break away.
And he could have hit it there, and he just let the ball do the work for him. He took it around, easy tap in at the end.
So Adamson gets his 3rd on the year, and it's the 3rd goal for the ambush tonight. They get a big lead after you said KCU has been rolling the past 3 minutes.
You know, when you push forward like that, though, I mean, you leave the door open at the back, and they've paid the price for it. A little hard. That's a little hard, to be honest, on KC. But you'll take what you can get.
4, Corey Adamson.
It's back for Robert Palmer. He almost lost it to Kochikov, who's back on the field after being hurt briefly. And good block by Marcos.
Ambush 3, Comets.
But Williams sends it right back down. Now St. Louis able to settle it. St. Louis trying to get off the boards, looking to give it to himself, but just a bit too far. So Matingu will hold on to it.
Well, we said they had to get to Saxby early.
Good steal by Kochikov to knock that free. Pepe to Kochikov as he was changing as Everton came onto the field and was flirting with the too many men. Then the shot taken by Ramon goes over the net. Good job by Paulo, able to step forward and grab that under a lot of pressure. Marcos' pass gets blocked in front. It goes wide off one shot. Now Gibson, a big shot, and he goes 5-hole. Had some traffic in front, but Gibson gets Casey on the board. It's 3-1.
And he put some venom into that shot, didn't he? I mean, he absolutely walloped that. He went through, I think, 2 sets of legs. Paolo was a little unsighted, but I don't think there was much he could do about that. I mean, he just flew through his legs. And Leo Gibson doesn't miss many.
Goes through both Marcos and Paulo's legs as Leo Gibson just adds to his goal total, now 17 on the year.
But the Ambush are still winning.
Just 54 seconds left. Felipe and McGee go back and forth. Now Everton playing farther back. Nice pass forward off the boards. Reggett's going to be able to settle that. Zach Reggett settles it, surveys his options to Lucas Almeida now. Everton over to Felipe and back to Almeida. 30 seconds left as it goes to Zach Reggett, looking for the center pass to Everton, but that's blocked in front by Kansas City, and Matingu trying to carry it up along the boards. Can't do so as McGee's going to hold on to it all the way down in the St. Louis end. He just bounced on his feet a couple more minutes, looking to kill the rest of the time in this fourth quarter as Stinson, a nice pass forward, intercepted by Perez. 5 seconds left as Stinson trying to get up on Robert. That's going to go to Nachos. He takes the last second shot. That gets blocked in front. And that will be the end of the first quarter as the Ambush lead the Comets 3-1. And a great quarter for the Ambush as they were just able to pour it on early.
It was a really good quarter for the Ambush. They got kind of fortunate. You know, that goal from Reggett off the boards and then off Gibson and off Rodriguez. They got fortunate there, but they also got fortunate because I think Paolo was caught out of goal once and then there was a shot against the post. You know, this could quite easily be 3-2, 3-3. Well, the Ambush have played well. They've took the chances when they've arrived. And again, I just feel that goal right at the end there by Gibson will just give a little momentum, a little impetus into the KC Comets. This game is far from over, Patrick.
Welcome back to the field. Your St. Louis Ambush.
We'd like to remind everybody that you're watching the Ambush on MASL TV. You can catch every game each week on the league's official streaming home, MASL.TV. You can also get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams. Make sure you're following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, as well as MASL Arena on Twitter.
See Everton down there, he's just marshalling his troops. I think he knows that KC's got a little bit of momentum. He needs to just calm his players down. They're playing well enough. I think they're harrying the back line. They're trying to force errors. And a couple of those goals that the Ambush scored did come from unforced errors. Keep playing your game. You know, you can't stop. The Comets are going to have opportunities. The Comets are going to have chances. It's up to Paolo and the defense to figure that out. They just have to keep calm, play your own game, and take your opportunities when they arise.
The Enduro & Sons Pizza Hot Seat Delivery. We're over here in section
You know, Reggett's played really well. JT can hold up any ball you throw at him. Really nice finish by Adamson for the third goal. To me, that was better than Felipe. Felipe's goal, he picked his spot out really well and found the corner. Nice weighted shot. But the real calm,
I'm happy to introduce you to tonight's vet.
the calm finish by Adamson, where he just had the presence of mind to let the ball do the work, and the ball just rolled past Saxby. Saxby thought he was going to hit it, and he just waited and waited and waited. He allowed Saxby to commit himself, and as soon as he did, Adamson had the upper hand and was able to just slot it home past him, even though it was quite a tight angle at the end. But there's always that danger, you know, with the KC Comets. You know, any team with Nacho Flores, Lucas Rodriguez, Leo Gibson, James Togba. I mean, these are proven producers at this level. Adam James is chipping in this year with points. You know, there's always that danger, you know, if Kansas City get one, get two, then our heads could drop.
Time is just about to expire during this quick intermission between quarters as the teams switch sides, and we will get set for the second quarter.
The Ambush need to do the same again. For me, I mean, they got to the Comets early. They got to Saxby. They harried the defense. Same again. They can't let up, because as soon as they let up, as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's very difficult to put it back on, and the Comets are the type of team that will punish you for that.
The Ambush get to start with it for the second quarter. Almeida, nice chip forward, trying to find a coast to send his foot way up there. Almost a penalty, but then Kansas City lifts it high in the air, and that's going to go right out of play. So the Ambush are going to get the ball in the offensive end. It's going to be a restart.
Be nice to add a fourth here. Big restart this for the Ambush.
One of the biggest reasons the Ambush won Everton on the field is for these, as a pass goes to Almeida, then a bouncing shot by Reggie gets blocked by Saxby, just barely staying in. I do not know how that bounced directly on top of the glass, stayed in play, did not touch the netting. As it goes to Matingo off the boards, he's knocked down by Everton. That's going to be a foul on player coach Everton.
What was lost in that scrum there in the goal line was a really good one-handed save by Saxby. You're right, that was odd that way. He just bounced off the top of the glass and didn't touch a net and stayed in play.
Kansas City misreads a pass that goes off the boards right to Zach Reggett. Reggett tried a shot that gets blocked right in front, then Rodriguez taking over. Nice little chip up trying to find James. Almeida pinches forward, and he's going to push forward a 3-on-1. He has Reggett to use. Over to Reggett, wide open. Oh, unbelievable save by Saxby. It almost squeezed by him, but it stopped at the line by Mark Saxby, the KC native.
That was a big chance. Zach Reggett knows he should have buried that. I mean, he did everything right. He really good save by Saxby. He got over there real quick. But Reggett's got to do better there. He's got to try and put some air on the ball, because Saxby's going to hit the ground and smother anything down there.
So Keel Williams trying to send off the boards down for Robert. Instead, it's going to go right to Adam James, and Robert, nice pass up. Long pass, thought about shooting, was Togba. Instead, over to Ramon. Now back to Togba as Kansas City getting set up here just 2 minutes into the second quarter. Williams can't get around Almeida, and he pushes forward with it. Still a loose ball in the corner against the boards, and then knocked off the boards by Almeida. He has Reggett to use again. Instead, this time pulls on the brakes and waits for the rest of his team to catch up, as the Ambush are going to make some changes. JT comes out for Zach Reggett as Pepe has it in front of the penalty box. Now Vadim Kochikov had Felipe momentarily, instead cuts to the middle, then drop back for Pepe, and a nice pass to a wide open JT on the far side. McGee and Felipe go back and forth, the two new additions to the Ambush squad this year. Felipe is just walking forward, then to McGee, and Pepe, under some pressure from Adam James, is just going to drop it back to Paulo.
Good tempo this by the Ambush. They're winning. They don't have to chase anything.
Paulo sends it forward, able to find JT, being held up by Togba, then Togba able to kick that ball forward. Williams able to move it to a wide open Sosa. Sosa, the shot blocked in front by Felipe, and he got hit below the belt. It looks like he's still down as Kochikov moves forward past the yellow line, pressured by three KC players now. And back for Felipe, who's back on his feet.
Yeah, he took one for the team there, didn't he, Felipe?
Everyone will have to thank him afterwards for that, absolutely. It's Felipe to McGee. has Stinson against the boards. Then right in the middle is St. Louis. Tried to drop it off to Adamson, but that goes off the boards. And a good play by St. Louis, just settling it down with Paulo.
Good start to this second quarter here by the Ambush. Dictating play, controlled, crisp passing, finding the guys. Tell you who's had a really good start to this game is Lucas Almeida. Made his tackles, won every ball he had to, had a couple of good steps to win possession back.
Able to get back to Paulo, then further to Stinson. Stinson can charge forward. He has Mario Marcos with him. Off the boards in front, but that's easily going to be grabbed by Matingu. And now back is Rodriguez, up to Matingu. A lot of pressure, but they're able to move it forward. Some nice touches. Finds Matingu once again on the near side. Now Nacho gives it off, and now back to Robert. Down Leo Gibson, pressured by Costa, and Gibson goes down after Costa tripped him up.
Not sure about that. I thought Costa won the ball. He did have his arms all around Gibson, but Costa did get the ball.
Gibson, a veteran in this league, knows how to sell call a little bit.
You know, that's probably it. You know, he's a savvy player, Leo Gibson.
There's KC pressuring. It goes to Perez, who's knocked off the ball, and back for Robert. Able to get it down to Leo Gibson. Gibson trying to get around to Costa again. This time Acosta gets the better of him. No foul this time, so it's cleared out, but right back into Leo Gibson. Gibson sneaks down the boards in front. An unbelievable shot by Nacho, but Paulo saw that the entire way, wasn't going to be tricked. The Ambush working with it back in their own end. Gibson pressuring Paulo. Good lead pass finds St. Louis.
No help there for St. Louis. Had to go all the way back to Paulo.
Casey able to get the header on that. That's Robert. Sends it forward, and they find Gibson in the corner. St. Louis immediately all over him, and St. Louis is going to chip that out, and it's going to be Everton. If he can race, there could have a break. Everton gets possession, then slips on the ball, then tips over Ryan Perez, and there's going to be a foul on Everton.
79, Everton, his second of the half.
As they were both just toppling all over each other.
But again, you talk about wily veterans in this league knowing what to do. Everton did really well there at fouling a guy whilst it almost not looking like a foul.
Kansas City trying to spin around pass. That was Rodriguez, loses it to Everton. Then Everton taken down by Perez. And Perez will come away with it and just move it back to Robert. Robert Palmer with Everton right by him. Saxby wide open on the far side. Instead, Robert's just going to take it himself. He sees Zach Reggett, so passes it off to James. Nice give and go, but it's going to go to Mario Marcos. And the Ambush with possession the other way. McGee off the boards to Marcos. And it's taken right back by Rodriguez, and a foul called on Marcos. So I believe that is his second of the half.
Mario Marcos, his third of the half.
And that is his third of the half. He's going to have to watch out now as a pass down to Williams. Pushing him off the ball was Vadim Kochikov. And the pass went to Paulo, who immediately grabs it, sends it forward, trying to find Felipe. Now against the KC bench, Pepe under a lot of pressure. 3 Kansas City players around him and sent down to the ground. And that's going to be a foul on Kansas City. And Ramon is not happy about that call at all, as Kansas City almost had a big break.
Yeah, I think Pepe needed the referee there because he was on his own, as you say, against 3 guys. He was kind of in that far corner. I'm not quite sure if it's a foul or not, but looking for the ambush that it was called.
Paul is sending it all the way forward. Nice settle by JT with his chest. JT moving more towards the box, then loses possession. It rolls to Saxby. And the Ambush drop back. And Sosa reverses direction. And Matingu up to Williams.
You know, we've had games here that have just kind of taken a while to get into motion. Not this one. This is bang from the kickoff. It's been all go. It's 100%.
Kansas City slowing down at their defense. Williams spins off Felipe. Williams cuts in, goes off the glass with a pass, but the only person that can grab it is the ambush. That's Marcos. And Felipe. And then sending it back to the keeper. McGee and Paulo back and forth. Back and forth again. They don't like the pass, so that's going to go up forward. St. Louis got the head on it, but he knocks it more towards the KC end as Williams got that ball knocked away from him. St. Louis can't get it away from Togba. And James Togba sends it into the corner. Leo Gibson settling in and takes a shot. And good save by Paulo up against the post. Inside to Nacho. Nacho drops it off. Williams, the big boot blocked in front by Pepe. Then the other shot, that was going wide, but it was blocked by St. Louis. And then Kansas City, that was Gibson fouling Pepe. So halfway through this second quarter, Ambush gained the ball back in their own end.
It's been all go. It's been absolutely all go this game. It's been coming in waves. You know, the Ambush will have 2-3 minutes of solid possession, and then it'll go to the Comets who'll have 2 or 3 minutes.
There's chugging ahead is Felipe. Nice play trying to find Reggett, but that bouncing ball is just going to barely find its way over the boards. And an official timeout on the field with 6:16 left. And as you said, just great back and forth action by both these teams. It seems to have evened out a lot more in this second quarter between both these clubs.
Yeah, I think the officials called a timeout there. They needed a breather. You know, they've had to be on it. It's chippy without being unsporting, if I can say that phrase. It's been a hard game. There's been a lot of, not bad fouls, just niggly fouls. And that's been the type of game it's been. There's a lot of blood and thunder, and everyone seems to be committed. And I think both clubs know that this is a big game for the season going forward.
During this time, we would like to remind everybody that the Ambush would like to thank Mitre USA for providing today's match balls. Mitre, founded in Huntersville, England, is among the world's oldest sporting goods brands, starting production in 1817. Mitre is a proud partner of Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. MSL and Mitre share a long-term vision to see arena soccer grow in North America. Mitre's Astro Division ball is the official game ball for MSL League play. Mitre's Astro Division is designed specifically for play on artificial surfaces. It features a more accurate flight path than the average ball and has a 30% reduced bounce to make it play more efficiently in arena soccer. As after the timeout, it's going to be Kansas City starting with it in their own end as Cale Williams gets things started up once again. Williams a pass to the middle to Rodriguez and back for Saxby, who has to sell that with his chest. And then forward able to find Nacho. Nacho back for Rodriguez and then finds Williams. Williams on a break, cuts in, and a big left-hand save by Paulo. Now the rebound in front, loose. Acosta down, and then Paulo able to dive on top of that.
Well, Acosta was fouled in the box there, and the Kansas City were claiming otherwise. But what a pass that led up to that chance. Outside of the boot.
An Ambush player is down, and that's going to be a foul. Acosta had a bit of a dilemma there. He gets knocked down. He either settle himself when he's falling, or does he get the handball? And he kind of pushed his hands out a little bit more, kind of did a push-up to avoid getting that foul.
I think he put his hands over the ball and kind of was crawling above it to allow Paulo to get in position to take the ball.
The Ambush pressuring now in the offensive end. Williams trying to knock off the boards forward. Now they're able to get it to Nacho, and now James on a break. Paulo way off his net, and he's able to get a hold of it. And the Ambush the other way quickly. Adamson has Everton, cuts to the middle. Adamson takes the shot. Now Reggett, almost had a wide open net, but that was blocked in front. A good block by Togba. Giveaway right back to the Ambush. Adamson took a shot, didn't get much on that though, so Saxby makes the easy block.
But again, another unforced error against the Comets there that allowed Adamson to get that chance. Just the pressure that the Ambush are putting on the Comets back line is really paying dividends.
This is an aggressiveness so far this game we have not seen from Paulo, let alone this year, but both seasons. He is really coming out of his box, and He's making great saves, but there's some risks to that.
There are some risks to it, but I think he's playing a lot smarter than he did last year. He had a tendency to come out further last year, and he paid the price for that. But he had nothing to lose there. It was a one-on-one, and he came out and he actually stopped him with his face. And he knew that was a big save when he made it. And here come the ambush again.
Almeida trying to beat Robert, but goes off at JT. Now it's a race for the loose ball. And a hard hit off the boards by Almeida, but that's going to go right to Togba. And cross field in front of the benches. JT loses it. It gets coughed up to Leo Gibson. Gibson trying to get around McGee. Can as McGee blocked it. And Gibson right back on his own rebound. Back to John Sosa. And Sosa for Perez. They're at the yellow line waiting. Down low, Williams trying to get it to Gibson. Blocked by McGee. Now Gibson again in front. And a good play by McGee to break that ball up. As Stinson, nice little touch, gets it up to McGee. Now JT, back to Stinson.
And Almeida's up on his own if they can find him, but they can't. But they found Kodjakov instead, and he's fouled.
Foul against the Comets, number 19.
Gets tripped up on Sosa. The foul is. As Almeida will take it. Kodjakov about to change for Felipe as the ambush have one of the gates open at their bench. Almeida's just going to reverse it back to his keeper. Now comes Felipe. Paulo. Long boot forward, goes off the boards. Gibson sells it with his head, going up against Matingu. As Felipe was wide open, but instead all the way back to Lucas Almeida. 3.5 left in the half. Goes to Felipe, now Justin Stinson, the St. Louis native. And Felipe again with St. Louis down low. Stinson cut into the middle. Good pass, finds St. Louis, and that's deflected. Saxby out of his net. He gets knocked down by St. Louis, and they're going to call that a foul on the ambush.
Ambush foul.
Well, it was, Stefan. You can't really argue. You did push Saxby over, and that's a needless blue card against Stefan.
I imagine that's going to be dissent. That original foul was not a 2-minute penalty.
It was the spin. Saxby lost the ball because of the spin on it that allowed St. Louis to get the chance in the first place. Here's the replay now. The spin on the ball took it away from Saxby, and I don't know.
That looks like an incidental contact. I don't think Saxby or St. Louis are looking at either one of each other.
But it's a foul, right? It's a foul. You don't have to argue. You know, just get back and defend possession. There was no need to say that extra. And you know, it's 3-1 up. You've got 3 minutes to half time. Just defend your home turf and get into half time 3-1 ahead. And now he sat in the box for 2 minutes, needlessly. And Felipe tried to get him away from the referee. Felipe knew.
The officials talking with the off-field official down there, looking over the rule book, and that's going to be a yellow card against St. Louis. So they're going to have 2 minutes, and then St. Louis is going to have to sit in the box for 5, so the ambush have to think of somebody to kill that penalty.
And you know what? It was the penalties last week against Orlando that killed us. I mean, Stinson sat in the box for 5 minutes. And then St. Louis is the kind of offensive threat that we need out there. We don't need him sitting for 5 minutes.
A yellow card has been issued to the ambush number 9, Stefan St. Louis, for dissent.
And I get it. You know, emotions are running high. The ball was there to be won.
Blue card on the play.
I get that. And I get that emotions are running high. It's a big game against your local rivals.
It will remain 5v5.
But sometimes you just have to accept the call and just get back and defend the free kick.
Ambush in a way catch a bit of a break. St. Louis is going to be out for 5 minutes, but we're still going to play 5-on-5 ball as Gibson gets knocked down by McGee.
His second.
Kansas City with a good opportunity with one of the best ambush offenders in the box for the rest of this half, and then 2 minutes of the third quarter. So it's going to be John Sosa taking it. Sosa just gets the pass off as there's people falling down in front of the ambush net. That was McGee down. As now Gibson takes a shot, just misses wide. Togba, the big boot, and that misses high over the net. Now Gibson, the spinner on shot, and that misses once again. Zach Reggett able to get to Stinson off the boards. Pepe, nice pass back, trying to get to Stinson, intercepted by Rodriguez, and here comes Sosa. Sosa trying to get it to Rodriguez, a great boot by McGee to knock that away. 2.5 minutes left. Justin Stinson over, finds Pepe. Pepe waiting, then tried to get it to Stinson, but that goes right to Perez.
They just didn't read each other there properly, did they? And Stinson just couldn't find Pepe. But the ambush caught a break there because I thought there were going to be a guy down for 2 minutes, and they rescinded the blue card and just made it a yellow. So the ambush aren't down a man.
Casey pushes it forward to Nacho, being pressured by Felipe. Now Sosa sending it forward. He has Adam James. James going in against McGee. Able to find space, drops it to Williams, and he's gets the ball knocked off him by Everton. Pepe loses the ball to a slide tackle. James dropping it back. Matingu stepping forward, and a great save by Paulo, just barely holding on to it with his left hand.
And McGee and Thomas kind of stood around waiting for each other to get that and allowed the KC player just to steam in and take the shot. It was a really good save by Paulo.
With 80 seconds left, KC heaves it forward. Gibson, the header. Williams trying to settle it. Diving is McGee, and stepping up as Paulo makes a big save, and that's going to go into the netting. And it's going to be a restart for Kansas City. And that's just going to be on the far side boards.
Some real key saves in the second quarter by Paulo Nascimento. He really has grown into this team and into this league.
Williams drops it. Shot taken. Sosa, and another shot that misses, and then Adamson goes, takes down a KC player. That's Perez who went down, so it's going to be Adamson getting his first of the half.
The Ambush are just scrapping it to try and keep it 3-1 before the halftime whistle.
There's Sosa. Goes off of Reggett as he was the only man there setting up a wall, but it goes off the boards right to Perez. Takes the shot. Everton on him. Down to Nacho. Nacho lifts it high up in the air. Gibson heading it, and then Paul is going to use his height and easily gets there first to hold on to it. McGee, Paulo go back and forth. Lifted it high up in the air. There's a good header there by Sosa. Finds Gibson. Bouncing ball in a save by Paul. I think he got a piece of that with his right leg as it goes back to Gibson. Bouncing ball goes in front, and they just barely push it in. McGee was trying to box out Perez.
You can't give Leo Gibson that amount of space. You cannot give him that amount of space. Twice they left him open in that corner, and the Ambush find themselves with the deficit halved from 2-1.
Comets' goal is 10th of the season, scored by number 9, Brian Perez.
That's going to be Brian Perez who gets the goal, his 10th of the season. As you see the replay here, and Gibson gets one chance, and it goes over, and it went off McGee's foot. I'm not sure how much Perez touched of that, but he's going to get credited for the goal. And suddenly the morale is in favor of KC in the last 30 seconds.
Well, as I said, I thought that the Ambush were kind of holding on and blocking and tapping ankles and making niggly fouls just to slow the game down. But it's all in vain because the Comets did have the deficit.
Paulo sends it down to JT with just 7 seconds left. Vadim gets it to Lucas Almeida, tries a shot, and that's blocked in front, and James is going to grab it right as time expires. So after the first half, the Ambush lead the Kansas City Comets 3-2, but Kansas City's been knocking on the door this entire second quarter.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Paulo, it could have been a lot worse. Some real crucial big saves there by Paulo. The Ambush had a couple of opportunities themselves, but that was KC's quarter, but thankfully they only put one on the board, and we're going to halftime still with the 3-2 lead.
So the Ambush lead Kansas City Comets. We'll take a break. Also tonight is Alumni Night. As you see people coming on the field, that is going to be the Ambush Alumni game. That's going to be going on during halftime. You can stick around for that, but we will be back right before the third quarter to preview the second half.
enjoyed this challenge. My whole family motivated me, and I think that's a huge part of my success. In 12 weeks, I lost 47 pounds.
All right, we are down here. We got a couple of contestants that are going to go head-to-head to try and win a 6-month membership to Gold Gym. First, we're going to show you what they have to do. Check out this video. All right, so they're going to do the pull-ups, 5 of them. Then they're going to run through the ladder, 2 feet in each little spot. They're going to touch a cone, go around the flag, and back. Touch the cone, back to the ladder, kick the soccer ball, boom, and win. All right, so I've got a couple ladies down here. In the red is Samantha, and in the gray is Elizabeth. But guess what? Not only are they playing for themselves, they're also playing for a couple of sections here. So if Samantha and the red win, everybody in section 102 is going to get a country club call-off that's inside and outside for 16 years and up. And if Elizabeth wins, everybody in section 108 is going to win. All right, you guys ready? So cheer for your favorite. On your mark, get set, go! And pick it up. There's going to be 5 of these. Fast as they can. They're going to go through the ladder 2 at a time. Touch the cone. Around the flag and do it all back again. Gotta cheer, guys. I gotta hear you make some noise for these guys. Back to the ladder. And she shoots and scores. Oh no! Elizabeth, what are you doing? Samantha ends up winning because Elizabeth missed it. So everybody in section 102, you're gonna get that country's best call-on singing cars inside and out, mixing it up. And you win 6 months for Gold Gym. Let's hear it for these guys.
Going through the work with England at a very emotional time. Having an attorney that can relate to you can make one of the biggest differences in going through divorce. Our legal team and attorneys can help guide you through the process, no matter what kind of case you face, whether it be divorce, child custody matter, child support, paternity, adoption, or other family matters. Whatever the family issue may be, we are here to help you rebuild your life.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, ready for our halftime game, the Alumni game. But first of all, at this time, we'd like to welcome our presented live partner for tonight's game, and the ambush game as well as tonight's Alumni game, the Stanley Law Firm. And presenting tonight's Alumni game along with the president and CEO of Stanley Law Firm, Kurt Stanley, and your son, Ben. Let's welcome Kurt and Ben Stanley. We want to thank them very much for their support in the ambush and for professional soccer, not just here in St. Louis, but Kansas City as well. The Stanley Law Firm is also a sponsor of the Kansas City Comets. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Your attention, please. Before the game gets started, ladies and gentlemen, we unfortunately learned today of the passing of the United States men's national team players and a former member of the St. Louis Storm, Fernando Clavijo. Fernando was an American soccer icon, a huge component of the United States World Cup team in 1984, as well as a fixture in the indoor game in our country. A moment of silence, please, to honor the memory of one of the all-time greats, Fernando Clavijo. All right, as I'm sure Fernando will say, let's play. The referees are Karen Slider and Steve Walters. The South team is in the aqua, the North team is in the white, and per usual, the North should dominate. You know these players are in numbers, pretty much the same numbers they were when they were playing. That's Daryl Moran, The first goal in the Alumni game. He wins the new Aston Martin DB10. Steve Maria on a run from the center off.
And welcome back into the Family Arena, ladies and gentlemen. At halftime, the Ambush lead the Kansas City Comets 3-2. As me and Matt here up in the booth going to look at the league leaders from around the league as well as the standings between the 4 divisions.
We're going to start with the leading blocks, and of course Axel Duarte leading the way with 21 blocks. And you know, Douglas DeSantos was on that top 5 for a while, but he's kind of slipped off, especially with him being injured for a couple of weeks. But he'll be looking to get back on that leaderboard.
3-2 right now in favor of the North. Nando Hernandez to start the play. Put on the ground for Kirchhoff. Malquini.
Top stars of the league, as I say, the top 2 are in this game tonight. We've got absolute treat. Both have scored so far, Zach Reggett and Leo Gibson. Gibson kind of helping Reggett with his goal. But also there, Craig Childs is doing some serious work with the San Diego Sockers. They beat Turlock last night, I believe, 12-1. And of course, Slava Ubapapovic, we've seen what he can do when Utica City came here and beat us. Perea, Gibson, Max Ferdinand leading the way with the assists. You know, 2 South Central Division players in the top 5 there. Max Ferdinand has been putting them on a plate for Ian Bennett. Ian Bennett's now climbing the scoring charts, but it's Pereira. Now back in goal, Arriaga and Diego Reynoso. Arriaga with RGV and Reynoso at Monterrey. They've been an ever-present in the goalkeeper stats. Boris Pardo and San Diego, they're doing some serious work. They don't even need Landon Donovan, to be honest. He's just a cherry on the cake for them. They're absolutely flying right now. Josh Limos, Milwaukee Wave. Can't say enough about what that team are doing. They're just flying right now in the South Central Division. Leading goal scorers, as I say, Ian Bennett climbing the charts. He's now in the top 5. Frank Teo, I think he scored 9 goals in 2 games a couple of weeks ago. Frank Teo, man, he's just a journeyman soccer player, indoor and outdoor. He's an ever-present in MASL and in the USL. So we're just concluding the Alumni halftime game. Good win for the teal team, for the white team, an absolute peach of a goal that had Jason Norsik full stretch beaten into the top 90. Shame it wasn't on camera, man. It'd be on Sports Centre. I tell you, it was an absolute peach of a goal. I think if Everton had seen it, they'd give him a pair of, give him a teal shirt and have him playing in the second half.
Jason Norsik, one of the goalies participating in the alumni game, still working with the team at practices with the goalies, working with Casey Clark, working with Paulo. He's been around this club for a while.
Yeah, he runs a store out in Chesterfield for old goalkeepers equipment. I mean, he has really made goalkeeping he's turned a hobby into a business, essentially, and that's all he concentrates with. He sells a lot of good gear. I mean, I get my kids' gear and my kids' soccer gear from there for his games at Missouri Rush. But Jason's just a really good dude, you know, as you say, he's been around this club now for a couple of years. And, you know, he can maybe pat himself on the back for how he's helped Paolo.
Both teams in the huddle right before we start this game up. As looking over at the ambush bench, there's Douglas Dos Santos on the bench. As he's resting, he might just be here to watch the second half from the bench, or he could find his way back into the lineup. That'd be a big push forward for the ambush defensively.
Also no Dwayne Laidley tonight. And he took a knock last weekend. You know, so we kind of, as we get players back from injury, we've been losing them. And I get it. It's that time of the season. You know, we're in the dog days of the season. You know, players playing with tweaks and knocks and bangs.
Give away to the first 1,000 fans in attendance. Get your tickets now at the Arena Box Office or through the Ambush website, STL Forces.
Waiting to start play back up as Saxby's trying to dig for a ball under the bleachers, and right as he grabs one, they send another one his way.
Another new player for the Ambush that no one's really mentioned is Howard Miller. He played with JJ Gibson's outdoor team, a team called St. Louis Maritza. And they have made it all the way, I believe, to the first round proper of the US Open Cup with St. Louis Maritza. They will be playing a team in Dallas in the US Open Cup, North Texas Rayados, in April. And this team has been led by JJ Gibson, as I say, and he's been heavily involved by the Ambush. A lot of the Ambush players that have played in this, and if they beat Texas, there's every chance that we will have an all St. Louis second round of the US Open Cup when St. Louis FC enter the competition. And that would just be phenomenal. It'd be phenomenal for JJ's team, Maritza. It would just be phenomenal for every single soccer fan in St. Louis, because the US Open Cup is heavily steeped in St. Louis soccer history.
As you saw, Stefan St. Louis still in the penalty box for about 2 minutes. So he's still serving that yellow card he got. As the ball gets poked for Gibson to Paulo. And the Ambush quickly pushing forward. They have 3-on-2. Justin Stinson has Almeida and Felipe. To Almeida, back to Stinson. And Saxby diving over. Didn't have to, though. No shot came. The ball still bouncing, just barely stays in play. And rushing back to grab it is JT.
Lucas should have just had a shot there, you know. He tried to be unselfish and lay it up to Stinson, who should have just let it rip.
Now Felipe for Justin Stinson. Stinson trying to cut to the inside, instead right back to Felipe, and they're going to change it up, send it to the near side now, Lucas Almeida. And Felipe and Stinson passing back and forth again. Now McGee dropping back as Ambush can't get some open space here in the offensive end. Off the boards finds JT. JT to the corner, sends it out in front. That's going to be John Sosa grabbing in, sending it all the way forward. McGee is sending it back for Paulo. And Felipe quickly reverses the direction, sending it the other way. It's Robert sending it to Saxby. He almost lost it to Kochikov, but Nacho's able to hold on to it, and then back for Togba.
Feels like both teams know that the next goal is absolutely pivotal in this game. They're both playing a little cautiously. They don't want to be the one that makes the mistake.
As Saxby sends that ball all the way down, but just going to go back down to his fellow keeper on the far side. As Paulo sends the ball forward, trying to find Reggett, then Reggett's going to take down Robert, who got there first. So Reggett gets his first of the half. Neely down to James. Now Nacho at the yellow line. Good reversal, gets it down low. Now Robert to Ramon. Ramon being pressured closely by Pepe, and then Pepe steps forward, briefly knocks the ball away from him, but goes back to Kyle Williams.
Good work by Pepe. Stayed tight on his man, didn't allow him an inch.
And Casey's still in the offensive end, it's Nacho. Nacho floats back a little bit, now over to Matingu, and then far side John Sosa. Back down Matingu, but Pepe stepped forward, able to take that away. Now Kochikov cuts away from Robert, and he goes up against Sosa, gets past him. Kochikov in, he shoots off the crossbar!
And Kochikov deserved a goal there. He made everything himself. There wasn't much on, and he just kept the ball, beat a guy, kept the ball, found himself a spot, and he had a go, and he very nearly got the rewards for it.
Pass from Paulo up to Everton. Everton, a beautiful touch, gets past Togba. As he continues to move forward down the board, takes a long shot. Saxby diving, flailing around, able to make that great save.
What a phase of play there by Everton. It was a really nice turn along the boards. Whack. Have some of that. And Saxby had trouble dealing with it.
Togba pulls away from Adamson, and stepping up is McGee. Takes it away from Gibson. Nice move, playing it back to Paulo. Towed up to Mario Marcos. Now Justin Stinson. Stinson right down the middle. Gives it over to Marcos in the corner. He steps forward. Shot blocked in front by Ramon. Oh, Stinson taken down by Matingu. And he's going to pick up his first of the half.
And I'm not sure how Matingu can complain about that, because he pushed Stinson quite heavily into the boards there.
And Mario Marcos is going to start it for the ambush. McGee now, Corey Adamson. Adamson trying to cut towards the middle, loses it to Leo Gibson, and Gibson's going to move forward with it. Gibson into Ramon. Paulo way out of his net. Now off the boards, Mario Marcos almost sent it to a wide open Rodriguez, and now Paulo has to jump up high in the air, and he's able to grab onto that one again. Long pass, able to find Stinson, sells it with his chest. Now Stinson pressured by Matingu. Matingu takes him down, but here comes Almeida. Almeida has JT in front. Saxby's down, and Almeida, unbelievable, waits, and that's a goal, and it's 4-2 St. Louis.
I hope Lucas enjoyed that as much as I did, because that was some fancy footwork there by Lucas Almeida. The goal was made by Justin Stinson. Justin Stinson chested the ball down in the midfield, got the ball to Lucas. Lucas took it, and he knew what he was doing, and Saxby was kind of caught in no man's land. He didn't know if he was going to pass it over to JT or not, and Lucas just waited, and nothing really Saxby could do about that. Well done, Lucas. He deserved that. He's had a really good first half.
Absolutely, his 6th of the season. We talked about it last game. He was really picking up his place. He got the goal last week, got 2 goals actually last week, I believe. And then this week in another goal, and he's finding his way this year, it seems.
About 3 or 4 weeks ago, we spoke to Mark Litton about Lucas, because last year Lucas was dynamite, and his production in the scoring is down. But Mark was saying that they're asking him to do a lot more defensive work this year, more of as a midfielder than a forward. And I think it's taken him a while to get to grips with being a midfielder rather than a forward. But he'll have enjoyed that one.
Casey gets it up to Gibson. Drop back. Williams takes a shot blocked in front by Felipe's foot as Paulo was diving the other way. Now Togba in front of the St. Louis bench. Moves it down to Kyle Williams. Williams, pressured by Pepe. Cuts to the inside, looking in front, and passes it all the way across. Nacho couldn't get a hold of it, though. Now Gibson losing it to Robert Acosta. To a wide open St. Louis, who has killed off his 5-minute penalty. So it goes now to Nacho. Nacho gets around Acosta to Sosa, and then right back to Nacho. Nacho, good footwork, gets it in front, and Pepe just lackadaisically kicks that away. It's going to be a race for it, though, as Togba gets there right before Felipe. Felipe's still hot on his trail. And Sosa has room to work, going to send it crossfield. Gibson in front to Perez, and he couldn't get a boot on that as Paulo steps forward and grabs it. Good heave forward, trying to find Reggett. Stopped by Sosa, and then Williams immediately loses that to Felipe. Ambush get it right back. Pepe trying to go off the boards. Can't do so. Williams gets there first to Gibson, trying to send it to Sosa. Deflected by Pepe. Now Gibson, the shot blocked in front by Pepe. And Gibson push up against the boards by both Pepe and Reggett. And Pepe and Gibson both go down. It looks like the foul is going to be on St. Louis. There's some pushing down below between Gibson and Pepe, it looks like. It's Felipe, rather, who's down.
The handbags at 5 paces. Come on, guys, stand up. Let's get on with it. Referee's just going to give it a drop ball.
Ambush foul, number 95, Felipe, his first of the half.
So the foul is going to be on Felipe, but you still get the drop ball, and then Reggett kicked by Leo Gibson, and he's going to get a blue card as Reggett's still down on the field. They're calling for somebody. He looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Well, I didn't see it, but the crowd certainly did. It's kind of stuck down there below the boards, right below us.
Head to Bridgeton, Florissant. Long John Silvers is located.
Reggie gets up on his own weight. Good to see he's walking it off. Sends the trainer to the bench, and he's going to stay out there. So now Leo Gibson slowly making his way over to the box.
2-minute penalty.
I think it's the first power play of the game, right? I mean, St. Louis was in the box for 2 minutes, but for 5 minutes, sorry, but there was no man advantage.
Agency power play.
So Gibson gets 2 for kicking.
Well, the Ambush really need to make this count. Not sure what the delay is right now, but
got both penalties up on both jumbotrons here. The Ambush a big chance here to regain a 3-goal lead that they had lost and went down to 1, and they fought back to make it a 2-goal lead.
You know, it's also 2 minutes that the Ambush don't have to face Leo Gibson.
That's always a positive as Everton gets it to McGee, and then down for Almeida to St. Louis, and he shoots and scores. A beautiful touch by St. Louis. That's all he needed, and the Ambush regained their 3-goal lead.
Well, it was only 15 minutes they won't have to face Leo Gibson. 15 seconds they won't have to face Leo Gibson, because that's all it took for St. Louis. Really nice finish. "15 seconds is all it took."
As St. Louis gets his 5th of the season, beautiful pass down to Almeida. Once again, the patience of Lucas. Waits, finds his target.
Near post, Saxon is going to be upset about that. You shouldn't be beating on your near post. But again, the defense kind of hung Saxby out to dry again, because he didn't know whether to cover Lucas Almeida after Lucas skinned him the first time, or whether to cover the guy coming in the middle.
Scored by number 9, Stephon St. Louis.
That ball is going into Paulo, and he cleared it out into the netting, so restart at the top of the box for Kansas City. John Sosa with a 3-man wall. Steps forward, down low, and Paulo gets a hand on it and knocked it wide.
And that ball was going in the net, and Paulo somehow managed to claw it out of the goal.
There's Felipe with another brilliant defensive effort. He's been chilling back in the box during these offensive pressures by Kansas City, and he's been doing a great job of just getting that ball out. Gibson in the corner, gets around to Costa, takes a shot that misses everything, goes to this near side for Togba, faked the shot. Now Sosa, long shot, and that may have got a piece of Paulo, but it went wide.
Paulo's in the zone tonight. I hope I don't jinx him by saying that, but he is having himself a game.
They send it in front. Perez to Rodriguez. A hard shot hits the glass. Just misses top corner. Reggie gets knocked down. No call though. It's Togba. Pressure by Almeida. Gets away from him. Wanted a call was Togba. That's going to go right back to Rodriguez. Near side Gibson. That's Leo Gibson rather. A shot takes it and he goes off the crossbar. He got that ball right back to himself.
Goalie's best friend, the crossbar.
Now Felipe gets the ball kicked right to him, to Almeida, and then Almeida knocked down. And Kansas City grabs it right back. Sosa. For Rodriguez, Everton tried to sneak up behind him and take that, but the pass goes to Sosa just in the nick of time. Now Ramon Nice pass, finally will find Perez, give and go right back to Ramon. Now in the corner off the boards, looking for Gibson, but it's cleared out by Felipe.
And you know, when Paolo's not been there, there's always been Pepe or Felipe or Robert Acosta to knock the ball away or get the ball off the line. The defense has been really stout tonight.
And this steal by McGee, taking it from Ramon. Everton pushing forward. He's knocked down by Leo Gibson. And Everton pushes him back, and Ambush making some changes. No whistles as Almeida clears it. And a beautiful pass right to JT. JT in, takes a shot. Great save by Saxby. Oh, JT pushing back. He gets knocked down, and that's going to be a foul on Gibson. Going to be on Leo Gibson, yes.
Gibson just swiped around and took JT's legs there. But JT, he had a chance, you know. He had to bury that. It would have been game, set, and match almost if he'd have put that away. Big save by Saxby.
Ambush fans, join the team at Chili's in St. Peter's this coming Monday, February 11th, from 6:30 to 8.
Great hustle by JT to get back.
Yeah, he got the ball back. He got away from Gibson, and Gibson just took his legs there.
Chili's in St. Peter's this Monday night, February 11th, 6:30 to 8, for dinner with the Ambush.
JT slow to get up, but able to make his way back out onto the field. He's going to stay down there, and he's all the way down by Saxby.
JT's from Doncaster, man. They build him tough in Yorkshire, you know. They build him tough.
I was going to think you were going to say they were tough all over England.
Well, Yorkshiremen, they pride themselves on their hardiness. Let's put it that way.
Kai Williams has some space, gets it to Matingu. He steps up, a shot, misses high over the net. Bouncing off the boards, Williams. Nice little touch to the corner, and getting there first was Acosta, and he's pushed into the boards. That's an easy call for the ref, as Nacho, it looks like, will head to the box.
He just pushed Acosta right into the boards there. I mean, Acosta was off his feet almost.
Mark Arnold, agency, power play.
It's actually going to be number 27, Guy Gomez, heading to the box. And I was at the Blues game earlier today. I had some flashbacks right there with that hit right against the boards.
2 minutes.
I've got 9-month-old twins, man. I don't watch anything at home other than nursery rhymes, Barney, Peppa Pig.
Soccer is your only
It's my only escape. Yeah, I have to pick my battles, man.
As Everton able to work it down to Stinson, back up to Everton as they're back on the power play. 1-for-1 tonight as it goes down to Stinson, back to Everton. Everton thought about shooting down to Stinson again. He goes off the boards, gets the foot of Saxby still loose, and then Matingu boxes it. Stinson pressuring him, Reggett in there as well, and Stinson takes it away, but that's going to be a foul on St. Louis.
Comets got a little break there. This crowd's into it tonight.
And Everton, the nice header. Back to Paulo, then back up to Everton. He'll carry it for a while as he's got space. Calls Reggett up a bit. Goes down to Justin Stinson, right back to Everton. Now Reggett, under some pressure, forced to give it back to Everton. Goes over to McGee, down low, Almeida looking for Reggett, goes off the boards. Reggett pushes it forward, and then Stinson able to grab that rebound. Suddenly back to Everton. McGee takes a high shot, and that's going to hit the netting. And an official timeout on the field as Kansas City gets a well-needed break.
Lucas Almeida in that top right corner has caused the Comets absolute havoc in this third quarter. A goal and assist for Lucas Almeida, and every time he gets the ball in that corner, the Comets are scared of him because he's making things happen. I really can't speak highly enough of what JT does, with the ball. He chips in with goals, he chips in with assists. He's not too prolific, but every single game I have to talk about his hold-up play, because he'll get the ball with 3 guys around him. He'll come away with the ball. He'll manage to find a teal shirt. the work he does is often unseen, but he gets the ball when he's crowded around players and he manages to find a teammate. You know, he very rarely loses possession.
Timeout just about over. The Ambush break away from their huddle. As Reggett, Kochikov, Felipe, McGee, and Acosta will stay out there for the final 49 seconds of this power play. And Kansas City still taking some time to talk it over. They have found themselves back into a hole in this third quarter.
Yeah, they were taking some time, all right. Getting all the rest they could. The Ambush, you feel like the Ambush is smelling blood right now.
Now Saxey's going to take it. Lifts it all the way forward. Gibson getting the header on it first, but it's going to bounce once and then out of play.
You look at this score, Patrick, especially in the third quarter with the Ambush scoring 2, but the Comets have had chances. Paolo's had some big saves. Pepe's had one off the line. Felipe's had one off the line. The Comets had one off the bar. You know, it's not been one-way traffic here. The Ambush are having to work for this.
Stinson sends it off the boards, goes right to McGee. Now McGee down Almeida, and a good play by Togba to work that back up to the yellow line. The Ambush are just going to send it back to Everton. Everton back and forth with Reggett. Now Everton, nice pass down to Almeida. Now Stinson takes the shot. He scores! What an unbelievable shot by Stinson. Roofs it into the top corner, and it's 6-2, the St. Louis Ambush.
And another assist for Almeida in that top right corner. I'm telling you, man, he is lethal right now. He is putting them on a plate for people. He scored one himself in that right corner, and he's now set up Stephen St. Louis and Justin Stinson. What a finish by Stinson, too.
Almeida only needs to touch that once, and so does Stinson.
What a shot that was.
As Stinson gets his 12th of the year. That's second amongst the St. Louis Ambush, only behind Zach Reggett. And he keeps pushing the Ambush in front. Is a long lead pass trying to find Perez. Paula came out of his net to stop that. As JT turns around and sends it all the way down. That just barely bounces out of play as it bounced once in the field of play. Kansas City quickly starting it back up. So the power play goal. Acosta falls. Gibson tried to set it in front to Perez. And it's going to go up in the air. And it's going to be Kansas City ball. Looks like at the top of the box, and it will.
The Ambush defense is going to have to stand tall up here.
Taking the shot. Sosa drops it. Rodriguez, and a beautiful release by Rodriguez. Lifts it into the top corner, and it's 6-3.
Straight off the training ground, that was. 3 short passes. The Ambush didn't know where the ball was going and roofed it. 1, 2, woof. Top corner. Have some of that.
Well, the Argentinian Rodriguez gets his 11th goal of the season.
It's a shame that, because it was starting to be a perfect quarter for the Ambush. But it's difficult to keep these Kansas City Comets at bay for a full 15 minutes.
Nice left by Everton, just a bit too high, looking for Acosta, and that's going to go way into the tunnel by where KC comes in. Drummond back in his own end to Togba. Togba dribbling forward, trying to get around Corey Adamson, and he can, as Adamson playing great defense, pushes Togba back, and then Everton took it from him, and he's going to be called for the foul.
Keep your heads, guys. Keep quiet. These referees, they're not standing for any dissent.
Kansas City going to start with a Gibson. Approaches, trying to look in front to Ramon, I believe, but that went wide, missed everything. Then Ramon picks it up again. Looking in front, gets it to Togba, touched on, and then another touch by Togba, and he's able to lift that just over Paulo and makes it 6-4, and Kansas City is creeping up on St. Louis.
We don't make it easy for ourselves sometimes. Real nice work, actually. Nice work by the Kansas City Comets. Here's the replay. Great work in the corner. And Togba needed 2 bites of the cherry. He finally was able to put it past Paulo. And we were sitting pretty. It was 6-2. We were laughing. We were joking. The crowd were into it. And now there's that little seed of doubt once again.
You take the crowd out of it too, even though you are still up. And then as Paulo sends it forward, Reggett's going to be taken down by Matingu. That's going to be a 3-line violation. So Kansas City down by 2, 2:17 left. Going to get another restart this time at the yellow line. Sosa steps forward, drops it to Nacho. Nacho gets it blocked right as it left his foot. Zach Reggett diving down to hold on to that. Still trying to push it forward. James gets there. All over him is Stinson. Stinson gets past one man, then he's knocked down. That's going to be a foul on the Comets.
Absolute phenomenal block by Zach Reggett. Not only to block it, but then to keep hold of the ball and to find Stinson and get something from it. There wasn't much on for Reggett and Stinson there, but they come away with the foul. And what was a dangerous position for KC is now a free kick for the ambush.
St. Louis waits. Felipe holding on to the ball at the yellow line. Felipe to McGee, then drop back for Paulo. Paulo toes it forward, able to find Reggett. Couldn't settle that though, so it goes to Matingu. Then Saxby has to get away quickly as Pepe was closing in. That caused him to kick it out of play, so the ambush get the ball back.
There should be a restart at the top of the box, no? No.
Everton screaming at the referee, and they are, looks like, going to make that change. After a quick decision, that's the right call. Hey.
Sometimes, you know, a blind squirrel can find a nut once in a while.
You look through the rule book.
Well, I saw all the ambush players kind of motioning, and I thought, you know what, I think they got a point there. Now, the last restart that the Comets had, they made the ambush pay.
Saxby gets ready, 3-man wall set up by the Comets. Everton down low, Reggett takes a shot, but it was blocked by Matingu. And then grabbing his Togba, charging forward is KC. Everton puts a plug on that and sends it right back to the Kansas City defense.
I don't think Reggett expected to get the ball. I think he thought Matingo was going to get it.
And Almeida stole it, gets it to Everton, right back to Lucas Almeida. Almeida slows it up. He didn't realize he didn't have a break, then tries to cut to the middle around Matingu, goes down. And Kansas City throws it forward quickly. Leo Gibson goes in against Pepe. Over to Nacho. Nacho waits, takes the shot, blocked by Felipe. And Nacho gets it right back. Now JT joins in on the mix. And Felipe able to take it away right in front of the ambush net to Everton. Then off the boards to Pepe before it's kept in by Gibson. To Nacho. Drop back, hard shot taken and beats Paulo. An unbelievable shot by Robert Palmer. And Kansas City finds itself down only by 1 now.
Well, it's as you were. You know, we started the quarter up by 1 and we find ourselves up by 1 now, but it should be so much more. What an absolute peach of a shot this was. Side foot from distance. Paulo well beaten, beautifully placed into the corner.
The ambush now backed into a corner as it's stolen. Togba to Rodriguez. Rodriguez tripped up by Acosta. He goes down, and that's going to be a blue card on Robert Acosta. And Kansas City will head to the power play.
And Rodriguez is hurt. He's calling for a substitute. He's hurt himself. Looking at the replay now. Yeah. Looks painful.
Ambush penalty number 3, Robert Acosta. 2 minutes for a reckless tackle. Ambush now on a GK
So Acosta to the box for a reckless tackle. As Rodriguez still able to stand up, but still not walking.
He's really hurt himself. I can't see Lucas Rodriguez taking any further part in this game. He can barely put weight on his right leg.
Coming to your town for a night of music, harmony, and fun. Never saw her face. Saturday, March 16th, 7:30 at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at metrotix.com.
Rodriguez slowly making his way towards the bench. Down on the field to play the ambush. A big moment here, the biggest of the game so far for them.
You'd have to think so. I mean, we 10 minutes ago, we were laughing and smiling. The crowd was singing and cheering. And, you know, Lucas Almeida's setting up goals, scoring goals. And quick as you like, the ambush have found themselves deep in the mire here with this game on the line.
The ambush set up a two-man wall. 7-4 to Sosa, takes a shot off the crossbar, and that goes high in the air, out of the zone. Good play by Sosa to head that back in, but we have a whistle. And it's going to be St. Louis ball.
And the ambush, not only has Paolo made saves, and they've had to clear the lines a couple of times, but the Comets have hit the bar and the post a good 3 times in this game.
The ball's touched by Reggett as it goes out of play. So
Sosa's lying on the ground saying that Zach Reggett put his hands on him.
Saxby's the one looking at him, seeing if he's okay, but looks like he got caught up in the face, maybe poked in the eye. Here's the replay for you. He might have caught his elbow, it looks like.
I think Zach did catch him in the face. I don't think it was malicious or anything. They were just going up for the ball together.
Now KC pressuring Sosa. Goes down into the corner. Togba tried a shot blocked in front by Felipe. Now Pepe stepping forward. Togba in the corner. Sends it in front. One chance by Williams. The second chance he couldn't get a shot off. And then Paulo able to push it to the corner, but that's going to be a foul on Felipe. So Kansas City will get the restart in the corner. Just 16.4 seconds left in this third quarter.
And you said it right. It's a pivotal point in this game right now. The next minute, 26.
Lifted high over to Gibson. But Reggett stepped forward away from him, and Reggett only has Sosa to beat. He's taken down. He may have got tripped up a bit, but Sosa's going to come away with it. But they're not going to have much time to do something, as they're going to have to send it towards the net quickly, and they don't. As that is the end of the third quarter, with Kansas City climbing back into this one. It's 6-5 still in favor of St. Louis.
Well, 15 minutes later, the Ambush is still leading by 1, but it could have been so much more. You know, a nice 3-goal cushion. And then the Comets come back and score 3 of their own in this quarter. But the Comets are always dangerous. You know, you can never count them out.
I got some chestnuts to roast. Awesome! How do we do that?
So I'd like to remind everybody during this time that outside of being on the team, the best way to know what's happening in the MASL is to tune in to Kick This. Every weekend, Soccer Sam discusses the ins and outs of all the MASL action. Find Kick This every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on iHeartRadio.
If you guys have your apples, you go ahead and talk them.
The ambush talking it over in the corner here. Casey over by their bench, but St. Louis cannot put their heads down here. They're still ahead. They still have been playing good soccer in that third quarter.
You just got to keep their heads. I feel that the ambush kind of lost their heads a little bit. You know, going in the box has hurt them. The restarts, the free kicks. The ambush didn't need to panic. They were 6-2 in the lead. You know, I don't think the foul, Acosta's foul, was a blue card foul. It wasn't a dirty play. It was a mistimed tackle, but it looked a lot worse than it was. But the ambush, they're still in the lead. It's same again as they were when they came out after halftime, Patrick. They're still in the lead. They're the ones that have to dictate the play. They have to play at their tempo. The KC team, as well as they finished that last third quarter, they still have to chase this game.
All right. Oh, that was a nice
As
shot.
the ambush break away from their huddle, KC still talking it over.
7, 6, 8, 7,
You have to think, having scored 3 goals on the bounce, KC have got the momentum. They've got their tails up right now. The ambush must have thought this game was won. And and they're paying for a little bit of complacency, I feel.
As the break has expired between the third and fourth quarter, Kansas City still in their huddle. Just trying to get a bit more motivated as they have climbed back into this game. Played very well. As goals this game for the ambush. Zach Reggett got the first one, then followed by Felipe, and then Corey Adamson to make it 3-0. Gibson followed back, and then Perez to make it 3-2. And Lucas Almeida and St. Louis and Stinson adding to the lead before Rodriguez and Palmer were able to strike back.
Lucas Almeida played really well in that third quarter. 2 assists and a goal. Well, he's had a really good game overall, but that third quarter he got the numbers he deserved. I mean, he was causing all kinds of mayhem in that right-hand corner. But as I said, I think the temptation is for the ambush players to wonder what went wrong there. But at the end of the day, that third quarter finished 3-3. You know, it seems demoralising the way it went. But as I say, they're still in the lead of this game. They're still scoring goals. More of the same. I thought the defence for 10 minutes of the 15, the defence was stout. Paolo was making some really big saves. But there was nothing he could do, especially about that last one.
Paul sends a long boot forward, trying to find Reggett. Reggett was able to get off his chest, but then looks like he's going to be called for the foul after pushing Matingu right after that ball left them. So he gets his second of the half as Sosa steps forward. Waits as KC makes some changes. Now Rodriguez back on the field. And Rodriguez down to Gibson. Gibson, a spit-around shot blocked in front by Pepe. I want to say that's Pepe's 4th this game. He's been playing very well. Rodriguez steps into Gibson, lifting it over to Perez, and he whiffed on that shot, or else he had the inside post. Given in front, then Rodriguez steps forward, gets past Paulo as he was caught out of his net, and this game is tied at 6.
And Paulo, you played so well in this game, son. And he tried to let that ball roll back into the box so he could pick it up, and the ball just wouldn't travel quick enough for him, and he was left stranded. See here.
Comets power play goals, scored by number 10, Lucas Rodriguez.
And Lucas Rodriguez, who I didn't think would play any part more of this game after Acosta took him down, has just leveled this game at 6.
So the ambush having to start right back up as this is a new game at 6. This one quarter to decide the winner this time, though. McGee pressured, knocked down by Togba, and that's going to be a foul.
We're knotted up at 6, but the Comets have scored 4 unanswered, and that has to be a concern for where our heads are at right now.
Bouncing ball finds James and McGee taking it away from Togba. And James joining in, trying to knock it away from McGee. Almeida stepping forward, but James cleanly gets that to Nacho. He's knocked down, and that's going to be a foul, I believe, on Felipe.
His second to the head.
Ref going to move it forward a little bit further to where the foul took place. So Robert calls Togba forward, sending in to James. James drops it off, and then the block goes right to Robert. Over and out, great save by Paulo on that one-time shot. Now Justin Stinson able to pull away from Ramon. Stinson gets away from Nacho again. That time as the Ambush are making changes currently. Almeida gets it to Rob Acosta. Now Paulo stepping forward since it's the fourth quarter. Now he can step past that midfield mark. And he sets up the Ambush offense, handing it to Almeida. Almeida to Paulo, and then Mario Marcos cleanly to Almeida. Touches it down, Stinson in a race for it. Again, their first was Nacho, then Stinson takes it right back, gets it to Almeida, settling it, back to Mario Marcos, and he scores! Mario Marcos off a beautiful pass, and the Ambush regain the lead.
They regained the lead, but they also snapped that 4-goal streak that the Kansas City Comets had. And this game, man, it has ebbed and flowed. Really sharp finish. Great work by Stinson to keep the ball. Lays it over, I think, to Almeida. Back heel, bang. And another assist for Lucas Almeida.
Ambush go-ahead goal. His 6th of the season, scored by number 40.
Almeida's having a great game. Mario Marcos able to get his 6th of the year, and now here comes St. Louis streaking forward. Gets knocked off the ball briefly by Matingu. Getting away from him, then trying to spin off of Gibson. St. Louis getting the better of Gibson so far, and he gets away. Excellent play by St. Louis. He gives a little nod to the crowd as he heads off to the bench.
And it's amazing what a little goal can do. Have a bit more pep in your step. You find a little bit more energy in those legs.
Now Zach Reggett trying to create space for Matingu. Gets it over to McGee. McGee gets it knocked away from him from Gibson. Then Gibson thought he had it knocked over the boards, or the Ambush players did rather. And McGee able to get away from Gibson, sends it all the way down to Paulo.
Nice defending by McGee.
He goes up the near side boards. Matingu sending it all the way down into the far side corner. Felipe gets there, and the bouncing ball gets lifted all the way up to Zach Reggett. Reggett pressured by Matingu. Matingu wrapped him briefly, but then Reggett's able to get away from him, and then drops it back for Paulo.
So strong, Zach Reggett. He was just able to hold off the Comet players there. Keep the ball, hold them off, keep possession. Even if you knock it back to Paulo, you keep the ball.
Now Pepe, nice outside touch to Felipe. Felipe steps up, over to Everton. He couldn't settle it in time, and it goes right to Saxby.
They wanted a back pass there. They weren't going to get it, though.
Now Togba just going to send it back to Sosa, and Rodriguez back to his keeper. And Sosa saying something to Everton as he gives it up to Saxby, and Saxby going to cross the midpoint line for the first time tonight. A long shot, just misses, and Gibson almost had the rebound. Another shot by Ramon, that one goes wide. Rodriguez, the header, goes right to Paulo and tosses it right out to Everton. Everton touches it to Pepe.
I'm still reeling from that shot by Saxby. What a rocket that was.
Stinson able to push away from him. And Stinson knocked down. And it's going to be a foul on Rodriguez. And Stinson's slow to get up, but it looks like he's going to be able to get up on his own weight.
It's been that kind of game. It's just been the ankles, Achilles, calves, digs, stepping on people's toes. I don't think it's been a bad-tempered match. It's just been a hard match. Full contact match.
As McGee and Paulo go back and forth. Mario Marcos. Now Paulo lifts it high, trying to find St. Louis. The header, tried to redirect it towards the net, but Stinson still over Togba, as it's now lifted forward by Rodriguez, and Togba touches it to Ramon. Ramon in, going up against Marcos, pulls up in the corner. Waits and sends it to the line, Togba. Now Robert, stepping forward, a long shot goes off the glass, tipped by Mario Marcos, almost out, but not enough as it's kept in by Robert. Sent towards the net again, this time Paulo coming out sliding, knocking that ball away from Gibson. But Gibson gets it right back, centers it, trying to find Nacho, kicked out by McGee.
Kansas City are coming back again. Pushing forward. They're leaving gaps at the back if the ambush can expose them.
The ambush had a couple chances, almost exposing that so far this quarter. Nice play by Stinson to knock that away from Gibson. Now Marcos quickly in on Robert, but he got back to Saxby cleanly. Now Matingu looking to get around Almeida, can't, and now Almeida's going to be called for the foul. So Robert down to Williams, takes a shot looking for the far side as Paulo is ready for that. Goes over to this near side, St. Louis. Now Williams gets it in front and Stinson clears as Paulo is out of his net. Now Robert, the shot blocked by Almeida's knee.
Again, another one off the line by the ambush. It's all hands on deck at the back. You know, Paulo's been stout, but when he's needed his defense, they've been there for him.
Sosa looked like he was about to take a one-timer instead. The touch over to Williams. A collision between him and McGee, and that's gonna go
against McGee.
Wow. And both put weight into that as St. Louis gets the foul. It's gonna be Sosa taking the foul as briefly Paulo getting his shoes retied.
Just needs his defense to have a little break.
Absolutely.
Ambush foul was on number 70, McGee. His first of the half third.
Justin Stinson back there with a heck of a block on the line.
Maybe able to help him out, and a good job by Paulo rather to kill some time. Now Sosa to start it up. Nacho looks ready for a one-timer instead, just to give him a go right back to Sosa. Sosa, near side Williams, trying to send it down to Gibson, but that's blocked by McGee and lifted all the way down. That's Matingu going up against Reggett. Matingu has to push away, and it goes to Sosa. Now Nacho, pressured by Almeida, gets it towards the middle, and then stolen by Justin Stinson. Stinson off the boards, looking to go back to himself. He does, but he's knocked down by Matingu. Maybe Williams is going to get that foul. Big restart. Good restart for the ambush, rather, as they get the ball back halfway through this fourth quarter.
Well, Stinson's taken some knocks in this game. He's going to wake up sore tomorrow. I think when Stinson and Reggett came into this team at the beginning of the year, they were relatively unknowns. But they're not unknown now. Teams know all about them. They're not targeting them maliciously, but they're not giving them the space that they had at the beginning of the season.
Corey Adamson, a nice pass, just barely gets it to Justin Stinson. Stinson to Reggett, back to Stinson, and a beautiful goal, back to back to back, and just like that, the ambush have a 2-goal lead.
Beautiful crisp passing by the newcomers Reggett and Stinson, and just what I was talking about. You know, they've come into this team and they've made it their own. Beautiful work there by Stinson. Back to Reggett, Reggett back to Stinson. Boom, boom, boom. 8-6.
just break away, peel that defense away from him. And
beautiful 1-2. Beautiful 1-2 there between Reggett and Stinson. It's his second goal of the game at Crumlin, right?
Yes, it is. So a second, as the timeout is called, unsure it's if an official timeout or Kansas City decided to slow some stuff down and get a timeout for themselves.
Well, they were in the ascendancy, Kansas City. They had all the mojo. They scored 4 straight.
If you get it right, you're going to win these 2 tickets to Marcus Theater. You ready?
You know, they thought they were coming back into the game. Lucas Rodriguez scored that goal right at the beginning of the 4th quarter to make it 6-6. But since then, the Ambush have had their opportunities and they've took them.
Which one?
And, you know, I have a little sympathy for Kansas City. They've hit the post. They've hit the bar. They've had shots off the line. But the Ambush have scored some absolute peaches tonight. It's been a really good game, to be fair, on both sides of the field.
Two teams battling to get that second spot in the South Central.
I mean, it's all to play for, and the Ambush have been just trying to keep pace. I said when we started this 7-game homestand against Florida last week that this stretch of games is pivotal for this season. It's absolutely pivotal because we play the Orlando Seawolves on the 22nd of February, and they've not played as many games as us. You know, Florida are good. This is a really strong division. Even if you take Milwaukee out of the equation, who are just running away with it. It's basically a 4-way race for second spot. Any team gets hot and they're in with a shot.
As it stands right now, Milwaukee sits atop the South Central Division, 10-2 on the year, 12 games played. Kansas City 7-5, 12 games played. The Ambush, meanwhile, 7-8 with 15 games played. So even with a win tonight, the Ambush will not climb ahead of Kansas City, as they will still have 3 games over Kansas City.
But winning begets winning. You know, all the Ambush can do is win games.
James getting a toe wide open. Perez a shot, and Paulo got a piece of it, and that just kind of Paul just used him as a ramp. He moves that into the netting. So the restart, and it's going to be in the corner for Kansas City.
Paulo comes up big again for the Ambush.
Going to be Sosa down in the corner, gives it over, and a good shot by Rodriguez, blocked in front. As Togba loses that to Kochikov. Kochikov moving forward with it, trying to use his speed down the boards. He breaks away from Perez. Kochikov in, he shoots just wide of the net. Oh, and JT goes into the net. He had him just behind him. But here comes KC the other way, Rodriguez. Just going to settle it down and send it back to Leo Gibson. Into Perez. Took around, takes a shot, goes wide. And Rodriguez running into, I believe, Pepe. That is Pepe. That's going to be a foul on Rodriguez.
I think Rodriguez is a little hard done to there. Pepe kind of ran into him. But, we'll take it.
So long ball forward. Kochikov gets the header but sends down Robert Palmer. And that's going to be a blue card on Kochikov as Palmer got headed in the face.
Arms above the neck. I think Kochikov is arguing he just went up for a normal header. We'll probably see a replay in a minute.
Ambush, 2-minute penalty to number 8, Vadim Kochikov, for contact to the face.
Can't really argue about that, Vadim.
Well, at the beginning of the year, the officials were talking to the players and talking to different members of the staff, and one thing they did make sure of is that there's going to be absolutely zero tolerance for anything above the shoulders.
To be fair to Vadim, though, he did try and pull his arm away. He did try and pull his arm back. but he still did catch him above the neck. So it is what it is, and the Ambush find themselves with a big 2 minutes here to kill this penalty.
Kansas City working it at midfield. Stepping forward is Pepe with a header. A nice play. Kansas City still trying to push it forward. Sosa, and down goes Felipe from Rodriguez, and that's going to be a foul. It looks like it's on 19. It's going to be on Rodriguez, actually.
And it just kills a few more seconds. Every little second the ball is in the Kansas City end, it's a second of respite for the Ambush defense.
Felipe off the boards, and a great play to McGee, and he scores through the 5-hole, and it's a 3-goal lead for St. Louis. They're pulling back ahead again.
And the first short-handed goal of the season, I think that is for the Ambush. Really well worked, off the boards. Caught the KC defense napping. It was just a quick free kick. Split the two centre backs off the boards, and cool as you like. And I said it was an important 2 minutes for the Ambush. But that's just a bonus.
So their short-handed goal for the Ambush, the first for the Ambush this season, as McGee gets his 6th of the season.
I think the last guy to score a short-handed goal for the Ambush was Dylan Hundelt last year, if memory serves. And that is a massive goal for this ball club.
Kansas City just trying to get one back. Less than 6 minutes left as it goes to Togba. Able to get it around Felipe. Gibson up top to Rodriguez. Now Sosa. Right back to Gibson. In the long cross-field pass, gets intercepted by the Ambush. Felipe bounces at once off his foot, then clears it out. As Perez steps forward, a big shot. That was Sosa rather, and a nice diving save by Paulo. As Felipe trying to get on top of that one, he's knocked down. No call though. Here comes Rodriguez to Gibson. Gibson tries to set her in front, blocked by McGee, then goes to Gibson again. This time he lifts it over Paulo's head rather, and now it is 9-7.
You know that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where a very tired Harrison Ford just pulls out his gun and shoots the guy? That was Leo Gibson on that goal. He just swung his boot at it and just thrashed it home. I think he was really frustrated after losing that short-handed goal. He's just like, here, have a goal back.
Just threw it right on net. That's all you can ask for, and he beats Paulo over his head.
He didn't celebrate. He didn't do anything. He just lashed it home and went back. Here's the replay now. Boom. There. Have it.
As Paulo sending it forward. Bouncing ball in. Can Zach Reggett get there? He did get there, but it bounced out of play. Kansas City gets it right back. Saxby to Robert. Now Robert Palmer right back to Saxby. Saxby's going to carry out. And cutting to the middle. Taking a shot was Guy Gomez. That missed everything. Goes into the netting.
And another one off the bar.
Long push forward by St. Louis Paulo, trying to get to Almeida. Stepping forward is Zach Reggett, heads it right to himself, but getting there first was Robert. He tried to clear it out, then headed by Mario Marcos out of play. Restart for Kansas City.
Four minutes left. The Ambush can't allow Kansas City to get into a rhythm here.
Nice play by Ramon, took a shot. It was right on to Paulo. He made the easy saves. That stayed on the ground. Now Paulo going to carry it himself a bit. Lifts it forward, Robert Costa. Ambush got to watch out, it's close, and then touches someone on the KC bench.
As I'm saying, they can't allow the Kansas City Comets to get into a rhythm here. They can't allow them to dictate the play. massive 4 minutes left in this game. Just boot it out, boot it upfield, get rid of the ball. Little stoppages here and there. Don't allow Kansas City to get into a rhythm.
It's headed forward by Kansas City. And that's going to be at the top of the box. JT called it right away, and he's going to get the call he wanted.
And you can join us this coming Monday night.
And every time that ball goes out of play, it just stops Kansas City doing their thing. And the fact that they get the restart is just icing on the cake.
We're at Steph's Pizza and Old Fallon at Highway K from 5:30 to 7:15.
Now Everton will take the restart. Three-man wall set up by KC. Everton steps forward, tries to touch it over to Adamson, but it's going to be stolen by Matingu, pushes it forward. Paulo maybe caught out of his net. Ramon in, tries to get around Paulo off the boards. Still no, now Paulo back in, bobbles it, and he's got it. What a play by Paulo to race back in, as now Reagan and Gibson go back and forth, the 2 goal scorers for each team. Now Robert. Over to Nacho, back for Matingo, the shot off the near side boards. Another shot that hits high over the glass.
The shots are just raining in on Paulo right now.
As Saxby racing off, here comes the extra attacker. It's Rodriguez.
Deep breath, guys, here we go.
3 minutes left, blocked by Adamson. Now Adamson able to push it to the corner. KC staying with it, over to Perez, he couldn't get that. Now the long shot by Gibson gets blocked. Settling it back down is Kansas City. Down low for Williams. Back to Gibson, trying to send it over to Perez, and he touches that to Sosa. Sosa back down. Nice play by Robert in front. Perez touches it once. A second shot blocked by Paulo. Now it's under Adamson, and Adamson touched it with his hands. It looked like, but they're not going to call it. Paulo throws it forward. Reggett trying to shoot it past Rodriguez. He can't. Third try now. This time he knocks it to the boards. And Rodriguez taken down by Almeida, and he's hurt.
I'm amazed that wasn't a penalty against Adamson there, but the referee was very clear, and they called it straight away that it was a chest. Adamson it was Adamson, right? They kind of laid on the ball.
Next Ambush home games are February 22nd and 24th. Make sure you mark
Rodriguez still limping, but he's going to push forward and try and run it off. Sosa now went back and forth and now sends it down, but Pepe just easily clears that out. All the way down, going to be a race for it. Sosa against Felipe. So Felipe pressured. Felipe knocks the puck to, knocks the ball to loose area of the field.
No rush, just keep it in the corner there. Just no rush, keep it in that corner. The foul against Sosa.
And going to be a drop ball between Sosa and Felipe.
No foul on the play, drop ball.
Rodriguez back in his own net. No foul against Felipe, so Sosa will just be able to touch that to Rodriguez. As they charge forward, 90 seconds left in this game. Robert waits to Rodriguez. Now Rodriguez over to Sosa. Back to Rodriguez, has a lot of space, tried to go to Gibson towards the middle, and it's touched by Perez to Williams, and it went off the referee before going right to McGee. Off the boards, clears it to Lucas Almeida, and Almeida could add to his great night already. All alone, takes a shot, and a great save by Rodriguez. Coming in as the extra attacker, and he makes the save. And here comes Kansas City the other way, 1 minute left.
Rodriguez with the best save of the night.
In the middle, it gets lost amongst the feet, but Pepe blocked it, then Felipe cleared it out, but it's going to be at the top of the circle with 55 seconds left.
Going back there, what a save by Lucas Rodriguez. Because Almeida hit that with some force. You know, if the Comets get one back here.
Shot blocked by Zach Reggett. Goes back to Sosa. In the corner, Rodriguez knocks it off McGee, high in the air, settled by the chest of Gibson. He shoots, and a bouncing ball goes in. Leo Gibson, who else, makes it 9-8 with 45.4 seconds left.
And how big, keep going back to that save by Rodriguez. Because I said, if the Comets get one back here, it is game changing. How good is Leo Gibson?
It really seems he had that goal, and he had the one goal where he shot over Paulo, where it almost seems like he's just, all right, you know what, I'm going to stop messing around and just score.
Yeah,
like he's holding back the rest of the game.
He has this innate ability to take a touch and able to find himself and make himself space. And he's able to give himself the time to be able to pick his spot.
The long pass forward, McGee gets yanked down by Perez, and that's going to be an easy call for the referee. He just grabbed him by the shoulder and threw him to the field. So who's going to start with 33.3 left? Paulo looks like he will. As here's the replay.
Yeah, he just grabbed him shoulder and pulled him down.
Can't do that. It's lifted forward by Paulo, trying to find Reggett. Stays in play. Now Zach Reggett. Rodriguez is going to have to play goalie once again. Is now Reggett hit in the face.
Blue card.
And that is going to be a blue card, and that should end it for the. I was going to say easy. We got the short-handed goal, so.
Yeah, don't tempt fate, Patrick. I know it's easy with 25 seconds to go. But you know, if Edin Kojakov's getting a blue card for what he did, then that was a consistent call. I mean, Zach Reggett's just trying to kill some time, and there it is. The left arm came up and it hit Reggett just under the chin. And Reggett was just going to keep the ball down there in that corner and kill as much seconds as he could.
And the Ambush are now on a Farmers Insurance Mark Arnold Agency power play for the remainder of the game.
For the rest of the game, Ambush remain on the power play. Extra attacker out once again for Kansas City. It's Rodriguez in the red. They speak of the devil, they give it right to Rodriguez. Over to Robert, down into the corner. Costa races after. Good job. Pushes it against the boards. Now Pepe going after it. Thrown towards the net. And that misses wide. Now Stinson going after it against Rodriguez. Beats Rodriguez. Sends it towards the net. A high arcing shot. Bounces in. With 2.6 seconds left. It's 10-8. The power play goal. And the Ambush are going to beat the KC Comets. Move up to 4-1 on them on the year.
This game has had everything. This game has had absolutely everything. Nice finish by Stinson. Still had a lot of work to do. It's amazing how small that goal looks when you're all the way back there at the halfway line.
Everyone here is standing as the Ambush are going to move to back to 500, 8-8 on the year. Meanwhile, the Comets will fall to 7-6 on the year.
Remember, this Comets team came into this building tonight with 6-1 in the last 7 games. You know, this has not been an easy win. You know, the Ambush would stretch out a nice 3-goal cushion, and then the Comets would come back and even the score. And every time they did that, I thought the Ambush had to drop. But the Ambush have just found an extra gear, whereas last year they didn't have. And that is a huge win. And that is a huge win for the St. Louis Ambush.
An unbelievable game, as you said, had everything, Matt.
That is a big win for the St. Louis Ambush.
And another win that just shows the heart of this team through this year and how much they've changed from last year. They're counted out several times. It's tied. They never give up. They pull back ahead, and they get a giant win against a divisional opponent.
You know, before this season,
right here at the Family
In the last
Arena.
5 years, the KC Comets had won 17 games to our 2. And now we've won 4
For the first time
in
ever,
5.
the Ambush with a big win on Alumni Night.
And that was not an easy win
Also,
against a very, very hard team.
8-8 overall with that 8 wins at times.
And again, credit to the defense. Paolo, he'll look back at that goal that he kind of messed up on, but he shouldn't beat himself up too much because he made some absolute pivotal saves. Felipe had one off the line, Stinson had one off the line, Pepe had one off the line. KC Comets had 3 off the bar. I mean, the Ambush rode their luck, but I think they also made their luck.
It's a great game as we're now going to send down to Brian and Angel for the 3 stars. And then the post-game interviews as Angel looks like she's with Leo Gibson.
And we're just waiting for Angela to get ready with Leo Gibson here. But Leo Gibson did some absolute great goals again. I mean, they're just mercurial. But we're going to send it down right now to Angela Sharp with Leo Gibson.
Gibson down here. Now, first of all, we have to talk about your game tonight. You had 4 goals, 3 assists. You guys have 8 goals. You were responsible for a majority of those goals. Is that a lot of pressure on you, especially when you're coming back from behind?
Yeah, as a team, it's always pressuring when you are down, you know. But somehow we hung in there, and we could have been a little bit more disciplined, and you know. But yeah, it's always pressuring.
Well, I like how you put that back on the team, but I'm talking about you personally being one of the leading goal scorers, second leading goal scorer in the league. Do you take a lot of personal pressure on yourself when you're behind in the game?
Not really. I mean, the thing is, if my team, if we play good, I mean, everybody's good, you know. I mean, the goals doesn't matter now because, you know, at the end of the day, wins is what matters. And the assists, the goals doesn't matter. As a team, if we play good, I think it's everybody contribution. So, you know, at the end of the day, what matters is the winning. We just getting the W.
Right. And then, well, now this is the 5th time you guys have taken on the Ambush, and the Ambush have beat you 4 out of those 5 times. You have one more meetup against the Ambush later on. What are you going to change for that game to maybe make it a little bit more favored to your side?
Well, right now I can't tell you, Rick, because it's still fresh and I don't have good memory of what just happened. But we are going to go back and kind of watch the game. I mean, credit to the Ambush. They have been playing incredible soccer this year, and it's always challenging. Like you said, it's 4 out of 5, and you know, I'm sure when we play them the 6th time, it will be just as fun. But we are going to go back and we are going to watch the game, and we are going to make the necessary adjustment.
I like that. And you said, you know, it is definitely going to be a fun one. You're going to maybe mix some things up. And it was fun for us to watch. A lot of penalties, though, for both teams. Is that normally your team's style of play?
No, not really. I think when you see that many penalties in the game, it's the lack of inconsistency on the ref's part. I mean, we as players, we're going to go out there and do what we are supposed to do competitively, but it's the ref's job to make sure it's all balanced. So when the game is getting out of hands, it's frustrating as players because you want balance, but it's the ref's responsibility to make sure that every player is playing fairly and competitive, but not cheating and being dirty. So I think both teams fought hard. It got out of hands because the refs they were not consistent.
Ooh, that's some words. All right, Leo, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Well, hey there, Lucas. How you doing, buddy? All right, thank you for joining me. You are #1 star of the game today. What, 4 assists, a goal down there. What woke you up today? You are on fire.
Nah, we've just been working day after day, and some days are better than others. Today was a good day.
Now, you guys have played these guys already. This is the 5th time you've met up with them. You guys have beat them now 4 out of those 5 times. What is it about this team that gets you guys so fired up?
Well, it's a rivalry. We know them. We love playing against them. They love playing against us, and we know what we have to do to get ahead on games like these, and we did it today. So I'm proud of the boys.
A lot of penalties for both teams, actually, back and forth. What do you attribute that to today?
the rivalry. It gets very physical and it's intense, but it's a good game. It's a good game.
I like that. All right, so, we are in the middle of your homestand here. So what are you going to look forward to the next game?
Well, we have a week off, so we're going to get some rest and get safe some injuries that we have, and we're going to come back and work even harder to win the next game.
All right, well, good luck to you. We thank you so much. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Well, I think that Leo was a little harsh on the referees. I thought the referees played well, and they have to keep a tin lid on what Lucas just said there is a very intense rivalry. Leo Gibson can lead this game with his head held high. He scored some phenomenal goals, and he leads this Kansas City Comets team in all the stats, and they made it very hard for the ambush to get their way, but the ambush prevailed, and this is a different ambush team this year. And Lucas is right, they've got a week off now, they can rest, they recuperate, they can get some of those knocks and bangs and bruises fixed before the next game on February 22nd against Orlando.
And that's going to do it for us here up in the booth. For Kansas City fans, your next home game is going to be Saturday, February 16th at 7 p.m. against the Milwaukee Wave at the Silverstein Ice Centers Arena. It's going to be pink night on February 26th, as there will be a special jersey auction after the players wear them during warm-ups. You can get tickets at KC.
One-touch shot and goal!
That was arena soccer perfection.
With an absolute golazo! Goal! As good a goal as you can see.